Pull requests exist for a very specific reason that actually has nothing to do with Git itself. So if you've ever been confused about why pull requests exist or why Git seems to work fine without them, this video should clear that up once we peel back what's happening under the hood. So Git supports collaboration. You can clone a repository, create branches, make commits, and merge changes all without ever using a pull request. So the natural question is, why do pull requests exist at all? Let's imagine we have an open source project hosted on a platform like GitHub or GitLab. In theory, collaboration is going to be straightforward. You host that repository, contributors will clone it, they can make changes, and then they'll just push those changes back to that original repository. But there's kind of a problem. Unreviewed changes are going to get merged, bugs are going to slip through, and production code can be affected. Git itself doesn't have the architecture to handle permissions. This is on purpose. So instead of solving this shortcoming inside Git, the solution is going to come from outside of Git. So let's understand how. Our issue is that we run into problems when too many people have write access. So what we're going to start by doing is write protecting the repository inside the hosting service. Now, only a small group of maintainers are allowed to push to it directly. This keeps the code base stable, but it also introduces a new problem. How does anyone else outside of that maintainer group actually contribute? Well, the first step is going to be cloning the original repository within the same hosting service as the original, GitHub, GitLab, or what have you. This copy is known as the fork, and the original is called the upstream. The key benefit of the fork is that it's owned by the person who created it, and thus they have full read-write access. The contributor can then clone that copy to their local development environment, make changes, and push those changes into their personal fork. Now that their fork has the code changes, how do we move them into the upstream? Instead of pushing their changes from their fork into the upstream, which is not allowed, the contributor asks their hosting service to make a request to the admin group to incorporate their changes. Now, this isn't a Git feature. It's functionality provided by the hosting platform itself, like GitHub or GitLab. So you can think of this request as an intermediate step between the fork and the upstream. Maintainers of the protected upstream repository can access this request inside the hosting services interface and explore all the commits and file diffs introduced by that particular contributor. Now, once the maintainer group is happy with the quality of the contribution, they can approve the pull request. Only after the approval do those changes actually get merged into the protected repository. So if there's one key idea to take away from this whole video, it's this. Git is responsible for managing code history, while pull requests are responsible for managing trust. Git handles commits and branches, and pull requests control who can merge changes and under what conditions. Real quick, if this way of teaching makes sense with animations and things like that, I have a structured Git course at learngit.io, and the focus is understanding how Git works under the hood rather than memorizing commands. No pressure, but if you like this teaching style, I can really vouch for the materials over there.